And
There it goes. And we're back.
And we're back.
That was me. I did that one.
Somehow we went down just after Jenny Craig joined. Not sure how that happened.
Sorry, Jenny.
So,
people automatically reconnect. You have to reconnect.
Yeah, I had to go out and reconnect. It was a little awkward, but that's okay.
She came back. Thanks, Jenny.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you.
I hit the finish button.
You just can't stop.
I don't know why.
So my kids. So I was saying, as I was talking about, we were eating Thanksgiving dinner, and so my kids, 14 and 10, started having a discussion on the chemicals in turkey that make you sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And they were fairly well educated on the subject. It makes me think that they might have talked about it in school a little bit. So it was interesting, but I did take a nap.
Is that what it is? Yeah.
And I did take a nap. I always remember just from Friends, because they had an episode in there where they talked about it. It was pretty good. It was pretty hilarious. But
we've been working together kind of unexpectedly a lot with immigration and divorce.
Immigration and divorce, we've had some of this come down oddly enough. Yeah.
Like out of nowhere, we've got.
And both ways too. It's weird because it's like we randomly have a divorce pop up that need the immigration issues. We got immigration issues that need divorce questions. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, we've got ourselves a little niche partnership for everyone.
I like that.
Yeah.
Now we gotta try to get some time to do the bankruptcy stuff that we've been talking about doing.
Yes.
So I'm trying to put together like a free giveaway deal where people can come on and just get free information. Mm-hmm. Give us their email address and stuff so we can keep in touch with them if they have questions or need anything. Mm-hmm. And if my goal is to have that going here sometime in December.
Great. Yeah.
With the Google AdWords to have it go live. That way, you try to drum up business and have things come in that way. And I'm very excited. Yeah, don't hit the button.
I see him going for the button.
Yeah. So I'm very interested to see where.
Yes, sure. I'm answering the question on the side. I'm the sidebar answering question.
Do you have a question?
Yes. Jenny blamed her fault.
Yeah, and then she said you're the immigration person.
Yes, Jordan is the immigration
person.
I am. So
hello.
So the bankruptcy thing, I'm trying to get that. So it'll be good for us to sometime in December. We got to spend time to go over some of that if you want to do some of that. So it'll be interesting.
So I'm going to venture into. I love immigration, but I'm going to venture into some
little side action there to help out with. So.
But I think you said something in passing when we were talking about this shared client situation where you can't just divorce. Like you can't come into the country under the premise of getting married and then just divorce and not have ramifications.
Right, and that came up on mine. I was trying to, you don't want to do something that's going to cause your clients more hardship and problems. So, having an immigration specialist in our firm makes it very easy to be able to say, there's something tickling in the back of my brain there about that.
Yeah.
And we'll check on that just to make sure we don't cause any issues. And essentially I had a client come in that was asking, want to get divorced. Husband lives in another state. They were married in another country and they came here and they've been here 5 years or 6 years or something like that. And so it's enough time's passed. There aren't any issues there. But sometimes there's when someone's married and then the immigration status changes after that based on the marriage.
When they can get a green card through marriage.
When they can get it that way, that's when there's if there's a divorce there can be problematic for the green card. And so I just wanted to make sure we weren't going to have any issues with that. But it's real nice to be able to just shoot you an email.
I know. It's also kind of similarly came through immigration on my side, where I have actually a couple clients who want to get married to their fiance who's an immigrant, and either their fiance or themselves, the citizen or the immigrant, has like a weird divorce issue where they either thought they were divorced, but it might not have gone through, or their country doesn't allow divorce. So it's like, is it really divorced? Was our marriage valid under immigration laws? So it's great to have Kurt here to kind of help me out with the divorce issues. And it's kind of a neat little intersection that we didn't really see.
So those little cottage industries within immigration that you don't think about. So Jenny Craig asked another question. She said, what's the hot topic issues right now with immigration in regard to the current political status?
Oh, man.
That's not a loaded question.
Jenny Craig Brown. Well, DACA, I'm sure you've all heard about DACA.
Right. It's back in the news.
So it's back in the news.
Because they're trying to tie it to the budget, right?
They are. They want a resolution.
So the tax thing, not the budget.
Yeah. So the DACA refers to the Dreamers, people who came over when they were children. they don't have status, but they were raised here. A lot of them have never even left their country when they were babies, a few days old. So they don't even speak their languages of the countries. What DACA did, it didn't give them actual status. What it did was it basically delayed deportation. It said, look, you have no criminal history, and you have to apply for it. So, these aren't criminals. They have to show that they have no felonies, no major criminal history, that, they have a high school diploma, they've lived here for a certain amount of time, they meet these requirements, and then they get it's blinking, it's either 2-year or 3-year, basically work permit, so they can work here legally. Okay. So that's the Trump administration got rid of that in August, I believe. Okay.
But delayed the actual end of it till sometime
March
next year.
March 5th. So March 5th. So people, if they have their DACA past March 5th, they'll still honor it. But people whose DACA expires on March 5th, those are really the people in Congress who are pushing.
They would have had to file for an extension by October 1st or 5th or something like that.
Well, yeah. But then, people who expire after March 5th, so, if it expires March 6th, you couldn't have renewed it. So I know some people in Congress and a lot of advocates are pushing for Congress to do something so that on March 6th, these people don't lose status and become at risk of deportation. Shoot. So that's one issue.
That's really scary.
Another one is TPS. I don't know if you guys have heard about this.
I've heard of TPS reports.
Okay. What is a TPS report?
Office Space reference.
Yes! It's temporary protected status. It allows citizens of certain countries whose countries are going through things like natural disasters to live in the U.S. temporarily, work here legally. A big one recently, so a big country is Haiti. So a lot of Haitians live in the U.S. on protected status.
From the hurricanes and such.
That's what I knew was going to happen. I was trying to
turn it down. The sound of my voice.
It's you. It's you.
And they recently decided to end that program as well.
So Jenny Craig Brown has decided that she's going to just lob them up and let you knock them out of the park tonight.
Great.
Which is fantastic. We love you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
So she said, is there a way, other than marriage, for an adult to receive a green card for someone who is currently here illegally?
Yeah, so other than marriage.
Other than marriage.
So here legally is kind of a difficult term, right? It depends. The lawyer's favorite answer, right?
Should I go get we have a cartoon and it's just a little girl with a chalkboard and it says 2 + 2 and she writes it depends and the teacher gets on her and says this isn't the law, this is math.
Well, it depends is the
go-to answer.
It's the equivalent of tech support saying have you rebooted your computer?
Right. There's 5 different answers. It depends which one, what the situation.
Starting point is it depends.
Right.
So illegally, oftentimes Americans use that to mean what we in the immigration legal world called entered without inspection, which is EWI, right? So basically you cross the border. EWI.
I got EWI.
Yeah. It's when you enter the border without inspection.
Okay.
So honestly, if you enter the border without inspection, marriage to a U.S. citizen is your best avenue for a green card. And it's a long process. You have to get a waiver, basically excusing your unlawful presence, and you have to get it approved before you leave the country. So that's it's a long, difficult process.
What about someone, she mentions here, for example, like an expired work visa, like they were here legally on a work visa, but it's just expired.
Mm-hmm. So was it to get a green card or so
let's say she didn't explain it. But
sorry, I don't have it in front of me.
It could be to get a green card. It could be to reinstate the work visa or move towards getting your green card.
Yeah, so that depends. Again, it depends. It depends. If you entered legally either through a tourist visa or any type of visa, work visa, something, student visa, and you are, your visa expired or your visa expired. If you're married to a U.S. citizen, you can stay in the country. To adjust your status.
But other than marriage in that situation?
Other than marriage, like if an employer wanted to sponsor you, I think you can stay in the country. It depends like how long you've overstayed.
So there's a lot more to it. So basically I think what it boils down to is if you're in this situation, you need to call Jordan.
Yeah.
Because she needs to be able to dig into your specifics to really make an educated statement on what you need to do.
It really depends on how you entered. What status did you have when you entered?
Right.
When did the status that you had expire? What were the circumstances under which it expired?
So there's a lot of different factors that play into it.
There are.
Okay.
There are.
Well, that makes
so
sense.
I know everyone wants a better answer, but
yeah, it's always nice to be able to say, "Oh, well, this is the answer." But
right.
As we know in law, that's not always the case. Doesn't matter what area of law.
Have someone to go through your background and say, okay, how did you enter? When did it expire? How did it expire? It matters if the government notified you and told you that you needed to leave. Lots of different factors.
For someone, just in case Jenny knows anybody and anybody else listening is interested, if someone just says, okay, I'm not sure what I want to do, I just want to find out what my options are and how do I do this?
Yep.
Is there a cost for that? How much time does it take? What's the deal when they contact you?
Yeah, so I do a $50 initial consultation.
Okay.
So if you come, I'll go through your background. It usually takes, there's no time limit on it. It usually takes about an hour. I will, pretty extensively go through your background, kind of your family history, how you entered, all of this. I can give you your options, timeline, costs, highlight any red flags.
So they'll really know when they get done with this meeting and get the report back from you. They will know what they need, what the options are, where they can start, what they need to do.
Yep.
Total ball.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
There you go. I think that's the solution for a lot of people.
There's no options. Not always, but sometimes there are no options. But I tell you that too.
But at least they'll know.
They know, and they'll know that they have an honest opinion. And
there you go.
But yeah, you really, for immigration, it's hard to give general answers. You really need to know a specific.
Well, Jenny Craig Woman says you're awesome anyway.
Oh, she's awesome. Thank you.
So thanks a ton. So I see Travis Bowman's on here. Travis Bowman Crane. Sorry, I'll hyphenate correctly. Haven't talked to you in a long time. Down in Indianapolis now, I think.
Yeah.
Married in Indianapolis, living the life.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't see him come up. See, it's odd.
It's for some reason.
Does.
Yeah. It's on the cell phone. So my wife does Facebook Lives for her business, and so it's that way. We'll have the computer up, and you never see anything on the computer, but on the cell phone, I always run the cell phone at the same time on the side because you see it. You'll let it pop up on here. But then sometimes
there were some that came like Jenny's questions.
Yeah, then the questions, but not the indicators of who's watching.
I see that.
I don't know why they do it that way, but
work. You should be working.
Yeah, Isaac, get off Facebook.
Come on, quit goofing around, slacker.
Maybe Fred stole Isaac's phone. And he's just
Fred's on Facebook Live.
That'd be cool. What's up, Fred? What's up, Isaac?
There's something you said. Oh, my first experience with an immigration situation was meeting with a client who came in and he wanted to make. I was working in another place and I was clerking and doing some intake work, and I met a guy who needed to change his trust. And when we started talking about it, he goes, "Yeah, I'm marrying a girl from Indonesia." And I said, "Well, that's great. How long have you been married?" So I haven't really met her yet.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
And he was an older guy, and as it turned out, it worked out well. But he had started the paperwork process, and he did know where they had communicated electronic. I mean, it wasn't like hire a bride sort of thing, right?
Yeah. Right.
But
I mean, she wasn't from Russia.
But he had said. But I have these documents that I signed with Homeland Security, and I'm like, wait, what?
Oh, yes.
Because he was trying to set his trust up to leave her something. And
affidavit of support?
Yeah.
Does that ring a bell?
And so that's what it was. I'm reading this. I said, you can't do what you want to do because you're committing to take care of her for her life, basically, is what it seemed like. The way this thing was written, like she could never go on government support. She could, had to, turn to you for support and all these different things. So. Like he wanted to leave her a little something, but I'm like, that's not going to be enough.
Yeah.
So anyway, turned out we worked through all that. We put together a really good plan. She came over and took care of him, and they were married and they were happy. And she was just a sweet lady who,
fantastic.
He was trying to teach her to drive and she just couldn't get it. And he was getting so older guy, and he was a funny guy. But it was just fun to kind of watch that whole thing. I'm going to misuse the word matriculate through all the processes and things. But again, he didn't really understand the ramifications of what he signed.
Yeah.
Because he just said, "Oh, this is what I have to do to get this done."
Yep. Yeah.
So I didn't know that existed, that
Yeah.
you were basically taking financial responsibility for
Yeah.
someone in that
Wow.
situation.
Yep.
Well, real quick, I just want to put out there, if you're watching, we appreciate it. Thank you. Make sure you like or do like a heart thing. And then if you can share this, that would be very helpful too. We're trying to get this out more and get other people to see it.
Yeah.
And just a quick little heart and a share helps out a lot. So anyway, okay. Sorry.
Heart and share.
Heart and share.
Hashtag heart and share.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just tell all my immigration clients.
Careful.
Never mind. Yeah, heart and share.
Don't accidentally say something
We're not going to go that backwards, so we're good.
I do a lot of couples, I have a lot of couples as clients, which I really like. And I tell them, immigration is a very invasive process. We learn a lot about, because part of it when you're a couple and you're trying to bring your either fiance or spouse over is you have to prove that your relationship is bona fide.
Right.
And it's like, it means so many different things for so many different people. So how does the government know, and so part of that is you got to dig into the relationship. I need proof that the relationship is real. I need
got
photos.
some special freckles.
What's the end of that? There's a movie with Sandra Bullock, right? Where
yes,
they have that interview thing.
Ryan Reynolds.
Right,
yeah.
they do that interview thing.
Which I've never seen an officer.
Oh,
you don't think that's legitimate?
What was that? That was
What's your favorite color?
Betty White was in it.
Yeah, Betty White.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's called now.
The Proposal.
The Proposal.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's like, was this legit? And that was interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the other aspect is the financial aspect. So the government, they make you complete, basically it's called an affidavit of support. You have to prove your finances, show your finances that the person that you're sponsoring is not going to become a public charge.
Right, that's what I read.
And
it was kind of stark when I read it.
It's serious. It's until they're a citizen or once they've made, I always forget the number, like a certain number of payments to Social Security. It's like 100.
Oh, really?
It's basically 10. Wow. It's basically 10 years or until they become a citizen, whichever.
Yeah, so basically you'd have to qualify for Social Security in that situation. You have enough like quarters or something like that. So. Flashback to SS.
I know, right?
So anyway, well, super. Well, we appreciate folks joining us, and we appreciate Jenny's questions. If other folks watch later, or you're watching in the background, you have a question, or you just want to say, hey, pop in the box. We do get notifications that things come up later.
And if you have any questions that you say, hey, I just answer this next week, shoot us an email.
Yeah.
You can get that to our website. You can come to the website, ccSKlaw.com, and go ahead and throw a question in there. And
we have an online form. Easy to fill out.
Yeah, very easy to do.
So
it's actually 7 o'clock.
Yeah, we're good buttoning up for the night.
Our mini-sode.
I know. It's a little mini-sode. We only had a temporary delay due to the red button push.
And I deleted that video, that little snippet video, because sometimes that gets confusing because you can click on that. That's what shows. Then you get like 30 seconds of the show.
Actually what we should have done. We should have reintroduced the show because we kind of just picked up where we left off.
So we have to go do the whole thing again? Is that what you're saying?
I think we just have to shut it down, delete this, start over. Jenny Craig, can you stay on and ask those questions again?
We're going to recreate history. No, we're not.
No, we'll leave it as it is, but we know better for next time.
That's right.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks again, CCSKlaw.com. Like us, what is it? What do you say? Heart and share?
Heart and share.
Heart and share. Heart and soul.
See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.